Hello and welcome, and a Hoosier hello to Across the Bricks.
We're back at Wade's house.
We're back
after our weird online episode extravaganza,
which we may be doing more of because it kind of worked.
It was actually not bad,
and I might need to invest in a better mic that's not my AirPods. But other than that, it worked pretty well, and it was a lot more convenient. Yeah. So we might be able to make that happen more in the future. Let us know if it pissed you guys off with us being online. I doubt it did, because that's how 90% of podcasts are nowadays.
Right. Yeah.
So, but we'll be back at school soon. What are we? We're a month away.
We're a month off. Yeah.
I think I move in on like the 23rd. Okay. Or no, that's the start of school.
That's the day before class.
That's the start of school. 24th is the start of school. I moved in on like the 16th.
Okay.
Yeah, so a month.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's wild.
I think I moved in on the 19th.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
Anyways, we got a lot of IndyCar stuff to talk about. Like a lot. But at the same time, we don't have very much. It's just weird time of the off-season, isn't it? Where silly season is very much full in play, but we've hit this dead spot in the rumors, right?
Right.
Like, I feel like after the 500, but more specifically after Detroit, during that break that happens almost every year, that's when, like, drivers start to negotiate, and then rumors
come up around Road America.
There's, like, 3 weeks of, like, Mid-Ohio and Road America in that area where there's tons of rumors. And then we hit this dead spot. It's usually not Nashville. It's usually...
the big announcements have been made. Now
it's
just kind of stalling out. We're waiting.
And I remember being at Laguna Seca last year with all those rumors coming out, right? And we knew that Power was probably leaving Penske and that type of thing. And all of that happened. But there was like this weird vibe in the air and the paddock. I don't know. Like for someone who was at Road America and was at the Indy 500 and then was at Laguna Seca last year, it feels different.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, Indy's different because it's just more and it's more vibrant. But like Road America, like it's a different vibe, and I think it maybe does affect some drivers, which is definitely an interesting thing to talk about. Someone it doesn't look like it's affecting is Christian Lundgaard.
Yeah, but he's definitely feeling it. You know he's feeling it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he made a mistake at Mid-Ohio. What was it, 2 weekends ago now? That gave Potter the win. I'm not going to give too much crap to Christian Lundgaard for that. I mean, it was a simple, just... Yeah. I mean, it was nothing compared to what Alex Palou did the year before.
No, not at all.
And Potter still had to make a good move going into 4.
Yeah.
And, I mean, McLaren won too. So, but we already talked about all that. What we do need to talk about, though, is the Christian Lundgaard situation, dude.
Yeah. So we had this conversation before we started recording, and I'm like, why aren't we recording this? We should just talk about it. So we stopped, and now we're going to start again, talking about Christian Lundgaard. So you don't think he deserves to be in a top 4 team, or you think, well, if you're a top 4 team, you wouldn't sign him. Because there's better options. Yeah.
Christian Lundgaard is a talent that deserves to be in a top 4.
Yeah.
Or top 5. I throw MSR in this race now because they are definitely competitive. Right, so a top 5 team. Okay. The 5 teams that I think are competitive to win on every race weekend.
Yeah.
Right, there's, the odd Graham Rahal show up or the odd ECR show up. But the 5 teams who are consistently competitive at every circuit, almost. Right? Those are our top 4 in MSR. If I'm one of them, I'm not touching Christian Lundgaard. And it's not because of Christian Lundgaard's talent, in a way, right?
It's because his inability to be able to be competitive at the Indy 500, right?
It's not even that. It's ovals in general, right?
Yeah.
And we had this argument way back in, like, March or April with Dave from the Upshift on our podcast where he said that we've seen it before. You can win an IndyCar championship without winning on ovals. Yeah. And I said, yes, you can. But you can't win an IndyCar championship without being competitive on ovals.
I think he's not as bad as people think, though. Like, he finished top 10 at Gateway.
But to me, when I look at his oval career finishes, those are the outliers, right?
I know, but also you have to remember he was in an ROL car for the first 3 years.
That's also fair. But to me, like, if your best finishes are going to be top... Right, because so say he's had a good race at Gateway and he finishes 10th, right? Yeah. What if he has a bad race at Gateway? And even to me, 10th place finishes on ovals isn't enough to win a championship, because that means...
Well, right. He's got to be like 6th or 7th, yeah.
Yeah, and if I'm a top 4 team owner, if I'm Chip Ganassi, I have Alex Palou.
Yeah.
I'm going for the 500, because he's got the championship.
Right.
And... even if I'm going for someone that can compete with him for the championship, to me that's not Christian Lundgaard, because he's not going to do more than Alex Palou is going to do, right? I still take Alex Palou, and who's going to win more road courses on the year. It's close there, right?
Yeah.
But street courses, Alex Palou,
Palou.
for sure.
Ovals,
always Palou, right? And specifically on finishing. Even if Palou doesn't win an oval.
Right. He's top 5, higher. Top 10, yeah.
Yeah. And it's consistent with him when it's not strategy like it was at Gateway.
Yeah.
Which is definitely one thing with Palou. And Chip Ganassi we've talked about. If they take Christian Lundgaard, they get stuck in the exact same position that Arrow McLaren was stuck in the last 2 years after Rossi left and they brought in Lundgaard, which is we only have one competitive driver at the Indianapolis 500, Palou and Pato, right? And, I mean, McLaren scrambled for a few years to figure that out. They brought in Ryan Hunter-Reay last year. Obviously, that was a weird program.
This year, that didn't work.
Or this year, sorry. And we know RHR is fast at the 500. That was some sort of car issue.
They were off all month. I don't know what happened.
And sometimes it is like that. But that didn't fix the problem. And Zach Brown has made the executive commandment to TK. I don't know, commandment is the right word. But
command.
Yeah, command. There you go.
Yeah.
You get the idea. And we want to win the Indy 500. That's what McLaren is saying.
They're going for the Triple Crown. They can't blow off all that money on this Deloitte ads and not make it work. So
exactly.
You got to get your payout. So
I mean, Tony Kanon's looked at this, and Zach Brown said, build me the best Indy 500 team.
Yeah.
And damn, he's built a good one.
Yeah, he did.
Scott Dixon, probably the most, Elio Castroneves, but maybe you could say the most experienced driver at the Indianapolis 500 in the field. Definitely the full-time field left. He only has one, but we all know he should have more than that, and he drives like he has more than that.
Yeah.
Right? Pato, who is arguably the best driver in the series at the Indianapolis 500 right now. Definitely the best driver in the series who doesn't have an Indy 500. I think we all know that he's a veteran around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, even if he doesn't have a win yet. That's capped off by, 2 second-place finishes now? Maybe 3?
Yeah.
And one of the best average finishing positions in Indy 500 history, especially if you take out the one time he crashed with 5 laps left trying to win. So,
yeah, but he was running third, so
yeah. With that being said, now you bring in Felix Rosenqvist, the reigning Indianapolis 500 champion. We all know what Fro can do at Indy. Specifically, this year was better than usual, I would say, in my opinion. He didn't have the best track record before that. But I'm not going to discount Fro. If he's your third best driver,
he's always been decent. I just never really thought he'd be a driver who'd win it.
Yeah,
right?
But I didn't complain when he won.
No.
He drove a hell of a race, and he deserves it.
Right.
And if Fro's your third best Indy 500 driver, you're in a good spot.
Yeah.
Which is where McLaren was before they got Christian Lundgaard.
Right.
They had Pato and Rossi, and Fro was a great third option. Right. So now I think they're back to that. And Fro's also someone that could overtake Dixon as Dixon's getting older. And then they RHR in the fourth car.
Yeah.
Those are essentially 4 Indy 500 champions. If we're going to, in terms of experience, I'm going to count Pato. That's how you win the Indy 500. And we know they've had fast cars.
Right.
And part of that is part of the reason they've been down on car speed, I think, the last 2 years has been the fact that they don't have a teammate to help Pato develop the car. I don't think Nolan brings a lot in that aspect.
Well, he doesn't have experience.
And Christian doesn't either.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they had 0 championships within the team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How are you supposed to win an IndyCar championship? Because we all know that Pato is definitely the closest, in my opinion. Because as much
he's finished twice second.
Yeah.
Or he's finished second twice, what am I saying?
Whatever. But I don't see him taking that step, especially in the Alex Palou domination era we're in right now, without some experience, some coaching behind him. And if he's got Dixon in his ear, if he's got Tony Kanaan in his ear, that gives me a little bit more hope.
Yeah.
Right? I like this McLaren move selfishly because I think it gives a direct path for McLaren to bring in to kind of either sit someone, right? So if we know in about 2 years Dixon's going to retire. That's what this move says.
Yeah.
This move says I'm about 2 years from retiring. I'm going to go run WEC or whatever. IMSA, whatever car that McLaren wants them. Pikes Peak Hill Climb. I don't know. He'll do whatever they tell him to do, and he'll be an ambassador and in sponsorships, commercials, whatever. I think if F1 continues on the trajectory, we could see Lando Norris jump over to IndyCar and get in the 7 car.
Eventually, yeah.
I think that McLaren's got a boatload of talented young
drivers. They have so many options. It's not even a concern.
And it gives them the ability to say, this is your last year, and we can plan for it. Compared to this Will Power situation Penske was stuck in, where they wanted to bring David Malukas in, but they didn't know if he was going to retire, what he wanted to do. He decided kind of late he wanted to keep racing.
Yeah.
And then he felt hurt because they kicked him out. And I think Roger was kind of...
They had to invest in the future, and they had Malukas right there. And it was time.
Obviously paying off.
He was ready to move. Yeah.
And he was definitely ready to move up. He's showing everyone that right
now.
Oh,
yeah.
So,
and he's going to win soon. I wouldn't even be surprised if he won this weekend.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing for me is Chip obviously let Scott Dixon go. I think there was something in his contract that he wasn't allowed to negotiate with other teams without Chip's
once
permission.
He passed that period, immediately he signed with McLaren.
Yeah, and I think part of that is Chip's always been one that if you don't want to race for me, I'm respect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's not like that he didn't try. Like he said very clearly that he offered him a contract.
Yeah, and
it was an extension just.
And it was,
McLaren
and the PR statement
option.
that CGR put out. Shout out Colin Coppola for probably being a part of that.
Yeah,
but they said that they thought Scott Dixon earned the right to end his career at Chip Ganassi Racing.
Yeah,
and they wanted him to
for sure.
And unfortunate that's not how that worked out because that would have been a Reggie Miller Pacers story, or maybe LeBron going back to Cleveland if that happens right now. But you know what I mean. Like it's just that type of thing. But with that all being said, there's better opportunities. McLaren put together a really good package for Scott Dixon.
Yeah.
And I think that worked out. But I'm excited to see how that all goes. Back to the original point. We got off track a little bit.
Lundgaard.
I don't know. So Chip Ganassi, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
I just don't see.
I mean, the only way he'd be able to do that, right? Or maybe they will sign him. Who knows? But I think you'd have to choose him over Simpson for the 8, right? And then have VK go to the 9.
Which
but
they want.
Simpson funds the team so much that
if I'm Chip, I'm not saying Kiffin is this big, talented driver coming up, right? But he's starting to show stuff.
Yeah, but you're not going to choose him over Lundgaard without the money part.
No,
but when you have the added context.
But there's also the part of, and we saw this recently with McLaren and Tony Kanaan and Nolan Siegel, of that's my guy. I chose him. I've taught and coached him up, and now he's finally starting to compete. You want to keep him and see him succeed.
Yeah.
Right. But with the money factor, it doesn't even matter. I don't see him jumping out of that 8 car. No. So for me, Ganassi is out of the situation. I would say, although that their rumors are heavy that that's where he's going to go, I think it's a horrible decision from Chip. Andretti, for me, he just becomes an opposite Kyle Kirkwood. Kirkwood's pretty good and almost dominant on some of the street courses. Lundgaard's the same on road courses, but Kirkwood's a much better overall driver.
Yeah.
So he's automatically the driver number 2 there. And I just don't see... That's just not what they need in the 28 car.
I feel like Lundgaard just deserves a chance to be in a championship contending team. I mean, I guess he is now, but he's second in the championship.
Also, if I'm Andretti, that doesn't give me a 500 contender right now without Marcus Ericsson.
Yeah.
Kyle Kirkwood's, I think, still a few years away, minimum.
Will Power's past his prime.
Past it. We've seen his... And I know he had the oil spill this year or whatever it was.
He was he was never fast.
He's not had a good
no
race in 5 years, right? So I'm interested. I don't think Andretti's the option there. Especially with Carson Hocevar probably coming into the 29 next year.
Right.
I think
it's going to be so fun.
I'm so excited
for that. Yeah.
But I can't see a position where, they don't have an Indy 500 veteran like Marcus Ericsson to coach him.
Yeah.
Right? And that Andretti situation doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think that's Marcus Ericsson. See for maybe another year or two, and then they move Dennis Hogger in. I've said that from the beginning of the year. I just thought Hogger was going to be a bit better this year. I don't think he's been bad. In fact, I think he's had a good rookie season that's just been upscaled by Kyle Collette and the moments Kyle Collette has had.
Yeah.
Everyone shouldn't forget that Dennis Hogger, I believe, is still ahead in points, which is huge.
Yeah, he is.
It's saying points-wise, he's having a better rookie season than Kyle Collette. Kyle Collette's just had the moments that have showed us more of a bright future, but sometimes the drivers don't have those moments. They're just
think it's also a recency bias thing in a way because, Hauger had that amazing third-place qualifying finish in St. Pete.
Yeah.
And then...
qualifying's not everything, but...
Yeah, but,
since he had a good start to the year.
Since then, he's just been there.
Also, Kyle Collette's in a much better car.
He is. He's in a much better car.
With probably a better teammate, so...
Yeah. Well, more consistent.
Yeah, definitely. And everyone forgets that Hogger was having a really good run at the 500 until the pit speed.
He was.
Until the pit speed penalty.
Right.
So it probably would have finished up there in the top 10 with Grosjean. Was on that strategy. That would have shifted our view a lot of Dennis Hogger. So, but that's not the conversation at hand. And then Team Penske, that's obviously off the table.
There will be no moves from Penske for a long time. It would take. I don't even know what it would take because Newgarden is not.
Newgarden or McLaughlin could leave in the next few years. I don't want them to, and I don't think they're going to.
I don't see it happening.
The 12 car is locked up for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
There's no way David Lucas leaves unless he breaks his hand again, which I think Penske could learn.
If he breaks his hand, Penske's just going to have a substitute.
Yeah.
Like, they'd have Nasser be in that car.
It's like how Pelot's not leaving Ganassi.
Yeah.
You don't let that driver go.
Yeah.
The only way they go is if they're trying to go chase an F1 dream, like Colton Herta did, or like Pelot was going to sign with McLaren. But
he did sign with McLaren.
Yeah, but I don't see Pelot or Malukas.
Yeah, but the whole Pelot contract scandal is paying for Scott Dixon and Felix Rosenqvist to come back to the team. So I mean, yeah, it's
kind of funny.
Yeah,
Chip did just pay his driver to leave in a way.
When you have a free $12 million and you can spend it on drivers, win you the Indy 500.
I do want to talk about something real quick. Tony Kanaan got a lot of just shit online.
Yeah, he did.
He had a quote on Off Track with Hinton and Rossi, which was a great episode. I don't know if you got the chance to listen to that. But he said something along the lines of, like, he needed team chemistry at the team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I saw that.
And, there was a lot of power of friendship memes and everything.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
There is clearly a disconnect between the teams and the drivers at Aero McLaren right now. Pato and Lundgaard famously don't get along. Not at least really well. I think it's more of a business relationship.
They're not friends.
And I don't think Lundgaard shares a lot of information. He's not a good teammate, right? And Nolan Siegel, as much as I love the kid and he's so nice, I say kid, he's 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
Like, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
And I think he's actually a good race car driver.
He is.
It's just not an IndyCar.
No.
Nolan Siegel's been improving lately, and I give him absolutely no
disrespect.
No disrespect. He's
just not at the level that McLaren need right now. And that's
can't
okay.
Improve Pato.
Yeah.
And he doesn't give information to Pato that's helpful.
And he isn't performing well enough by himself to be able to consider staying there. So,
yeah. And I love that Tony looked at that and said that's not how race teams work.
Mm-hmm.
Tony said the best years of his career was when he was racing next to his best friends. When he was in the 10 car, he was racing next to Scott Dixon.
Mm-hmm.
When he was at Andretti, he was racing next to, I think, Dario Franchitti for part of it. Right? He raced with Dan Weldon at Andretti.
Yep.
Like, his best friends were his teammates.
Right.
Because when your best friends are your teammates, it's full communication. It's 100% transparency. You're working with each other instead of against each other.
Yeah.
Right?
And McLaren need that to win.
When you're Fro and Pato...
They're running down a dream.
We can't make music jokes for Fro anymore. He's gone.
I know. But, like, I always think about our Tom Petty episode.
That was so funny. That was my favorite thing.
That's great.
That's Across the Bricks lore right there.
Yeah.
But Pato and Fro were best friends, right?
Yeah.
You saw Pato, after Fro won the 500, go over and give him a hug, right?
Yeah.
That's someone like Pato, who was competitive, finished, I think, 4th in this year's 500.
Yeah.
And
third, I thought.
Or was it third? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I know McLaughlin was third. Pato was 4th.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And then Armstrong was 5th. That crazy kerfuffle. That was the top 5.
Yeah.
But, right, like...
I mean, the finish was so close. No one remembers who finished lower than second.
Yeah. And Pato, he's allowed to go over and give Fro a hug. But that becomes a very different hug and conversation if they're teammates.
Yeah.
Right? Which is a good thing. And throughout the entire month, that is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, like, I'm sure they hang out throughout the month of May. Now that they hang out, you can talk about information, you can improve the car, and these drivers are obsessed with the 500. They want to be doing that. It makes the team chemistry that much bigger. And I know Scott has a lot of respect for Pato.
Mm-hmm.
His son is best friends.
I know. Kick's his favorite driver.
Yeah, I can't wait. And now you got his first win in
go-karts. Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah,
dad being Scott Dixon coaching him through karts.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then I know Dixon and Fro have a good relationship from when they worked together at CGR. So, and then RHR is, I think he's just friends with everybody from what I understand. He's just a good dude. So
Yeah.
I don't see. I think they fixed that problem fully,
Yep.
and I don't think it deserves any level of disrespect or talk on Instagram or Twitter, because it's.
Yeah.
I think it was a problem. Now, did they go the complete opposite direction? It doesn't have to be this friendly. No, it doesn't. But I think Tony Kanaan found a situation where he has 3 competitive drivers that fit his organization perfectly.
Yeah.
And that's perfect, right?
Yeah.
It went that far, and that was fine. He also mentioned that he had signed Felix Rosenqvist already, essentially, to replace Nolan Siegel in the 6 car before he found out that Scott Dixon had become available. So he essentially was left with the situation of Lundgaard or Dixon, not the option that some people brought up on Instagram, which was move Lundgaard or Dixon in the 6, to keep Lundgaard in the 7. And
Okay, that's interesting. So there was no scenario where Dixon and Lundgaard would have shared the team.
No.
Yeah.
Because Fro had already been promised or signed or whatever you want to say, the 6 car, and coming back to McLaren. Now, I still think that Lundgaard out of the team. This is the weirdest situation we've had in IndyCar, and I think Hinch has brought this up a few times. Buxton's talked about it on the broadcast. Yeah, if I'm Christian Lundgaard, I look at this and say, I've got you guys 3 podiums in the last 3 races, and I'm 3rd in the points right now. Like, what more do I need to do? And I'd look at him and say, you need to be competitive on ovals, because this is IndyCar.
Yeah.
Right? I saw in the Upshifts post that was, where is Christian Lundgaard going? Someone in the comments said the 2nd McLaren F1 car, and
what? were they joking or?
They were joking.
Okay.
But he's an F1 driver. He's not an IndyCar driver.
He's an IndyCar driver.
Christian Lundgaard can win IndyCar races, but he's not an IndyCar. To be an IndyCar driver, in my opinion, to be an IndyCar driver, that means you are best in IndyCar than any other series in the world, right?
Yeah.
You have to be competitive.
But he wouldn't be better than Norris or Piastri.
No, not right now. But tell me if he came up and started with Norris and Piastri and went through, you eliminate the whole changing car thing.
He wouldn't be better than Norris. Maybe Piastri. Yeah.
And isn't Oscar looking to leave?
We don't. Well, I don't know. That's just a bunch of crap rumors. I don't know. It's
rumor season. Dude.
Yeah.
You have to base everything off of rumors.
Verstappen could go to McLaren. I don't think Piastri wants to voluntarily leave McLaren. But if Verstappen goes, he's forced out, because they're not going to kick out the reigning world champion. So.
If Verstappen goes to McLaren, this creates a really interesting situation.
That would.
Because now Verstappen has a lot of other options to go do things.
Right.
Can he be convinced to do the Indianapolis 500?
No. He's too afraid of ovals.
This dude.
Yeah. He'll do the Le Mans race, though, with McLaren.
Yeah, he will. Maybe it gives Lando a better option to come to Indy. I'm telling you, Lando, you're going to have a lot more fun over here than you're having over there.
Yeah, maybe.
This is my pitch to Lando Norris.
Norris.
Norris. Anyways, so if Christian Lundgaard doesn't end up in an MSR, I mean, that is probably the most likely option in my head, but MSR is one of the best oval cars, specifically 500 cars in the field consistently. Yeah. They build some of the best speedway cars in the field. Mm-hmm. We've seen that. They've won 2 of the last 5 500s as a small team, as a 2-car team. That is unprecedented. We haven't seen that in a while, right? And he's not going to get the job done. And as much as Marcus Armstrong was close this year and surprised a lot of people this year, I think part of that was strategy. And I don't view Marcus Armstrong yet as someone who's like, he's going to go win me the 500. He's going to be someone who's going to be competitive, but he's not going to go win it for me. Like, I didn't even view Fro like that as last year, which is granted. I think Armstrong can win it. Yeah. But I don't look at him like a Pato or an Alex Palou, where I'm like, he's going to go get it.
No.
So.
Not yet.
Definitely not yet. I view him in the same range as, like, Scott McLaughlin. He can win it, but, like, I wouldn't predict it. Yeah. Right? I don't expect that from him yet. Right. And I think that they need someone like that. I think VK might be that guy.
I think VK is the guy.
Now, the only thing is I think VK might be going to the 9. Right. And I think when you look at that situation...
Well, that's even better.
I think Kyle Collette can be that guy. Not yet. But give him a year or 2, I think he can be that guy, especially in an MSR car. Yeah. Right? Because there's very few people on the left or in the series that can be that guy. He's going to go win me a 500, right? Lundgaard's not that guy. And MSR need one. And now Armstrong.
So it's really about which teams want the championship and want wins across the season versus the 500. Because if you can get both, then that's good. But you have to have an Indy 500 driver on your team.
I think it is clear to me. Every single team wants the 500.
Yeah.
That part's clear to me. It always has been, and it was interesting to me when McLaren came in.
But if you're a team that already doesn't have a chance at it, do you just...
At the 500?
Yeah.
I would say if you're a JHR, you have a better chance at the 500 than the championship.
Well, yeah. That's true.
It is not close.
Yeah.
And, I thought it was interesting when McLaren came in, because in my eyes, they were the only team that valued the championship more than the 500, because it's a European mentality. And I think they're finally realizing...
Oh, no, they've shifted that.
I think
this driver lineup is very indicative of that.
Yeah, I think they're finally realizing, and TK probably was a part of that, to Zach Brown, that's not how we do things over here.
Yeah.
This is the biggest race in the world. As much as, we don't give up on the championship. There's still 17 other race weekends a year that we focus fully on the championship. Mm-hmm. But during the month of May, after the GP, it is full reign. Let's win the biggest race in the world. And if you ask every IndyCar driver, would you rather have 4 Indy 500s or 4 IndyCar championships?
4 Indy 500s every single day of the week.
25 or 25 drivers will tell you 4 Indy 500s.
Right.
And maybe I'll go 22 of 25, because those three I bet you would be Mick Schumacher, Christian Lundgaard, the guys who aren't
the Euros.
Yeah, and
right.
I think it is interesting to me it took McLaren this long to figure that out. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see what happens when they do, because I think that's, if you operate IndyCar teams like that, I think they run better fully. And I don't know how to explain that rather than just history, right? Penske operates their organization as an Indy 500 first. That is clear. They're probably the best example in the entire field, right? They throw everything, all of their eggs, from St. Pete all the way to the 500 in the 500. And then they scrap everything else and they go try to win the championship after. Look at the organization they've become, right? I don't really have hard evidence, but I've been watching the sport long enough I can kind of pick up vibes.
So the new rumor on the block is that DRR are going to buy a charter from RLL, presumably Schumacher's car. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's definitely not Graham or Louis' car. That's those two are just locked up contract-wise as well.
Right, exactly.
But it would be the third car, which is right now the 47. It's probably going to end up being a 23 or a 24 if DRR ends up buying that.
The 23 is their main number, right?
And I think so. And in my guess, that's Connor Daly.
Yeah.
He's been their driver. He's been their guy. He's proven in the series. He's going to compete on ovals, which for a small team like DRR, JHR, Dale Coyne, any of these,
they need that because he's a driver who can win the Indy 500. I think, if given the right moment, and then I think he can obviously get podiums on the short ovals. So
he's shown it in small teams before. JHR recently, actually, as recent as 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting. One, DRR, after the passing of Mr. Reinbold himself, has finally...
this is clearly an ambition of his, and I think they're doing it.
He's always wanted to do it. He has two full-time staffed teams.
Yeah. Pit
crew, everything, just for the 500. I think he's wanted to do it. And I appreciate that. I think this is probably kind of carrying on his legacy a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's get a full-time IndyCar ride. I think buying out RLL's third car is interesting because RLL clearly hasn't been competitive in it in a long time. I can't think of the last time the third RLL car was competitive. The last time I can think they had...
I don't know.
Last time I can think they had two competitive cars was circa 2020 when they had Sato in the 30 and Rahal in the 15. Mm-hmm. Even then was dodgy, if you're going to call them both competitive.
Well, over the course of the season?
Yeah.
At the 500 they finished first and third, but...
But over the course of the season...
Yeah.
But, I can't think of...
Yeah.
Well, Mick's not it. Now, full respect to Mick. If you give him a few years in the series...
But it's not working out. This year has been horrendous.
I think we talked about this on the podcast last week.
Yeah.
Right? Usually when Euro guys come over, when F1 guys come over, talk about Grosjean, we've talked about Christian Lundgaard, Kalmai a lot, the likes of the F2 guys. Usually you see, even when Teddy Pourchaire was here, you see flashes, right?
Did you call him Teddy Pourchaire?
Yeah, Teddy Pourchaire.
Isn't that what TK called him?
That's what a lot of people call him. Teddy Pork Chops as well.
Oh, yeah.
But no, even with Teo. you see flashes, you see moments, you see
Yeah.
the reason they were in F1 or a high level F2.
Yeah.
And then they're just still learning the IndyCar side of it. They're still learning the ovals. I haven't seen that with Mick,
Yeah.
right? He just...
The only person he's ahead in the standings of is Stingray Robb.
Is that actually true? That's not good. He's been bad.
Yeah.
At best.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I respect Mick. He had a good F1 run, sort of.
Not really.
Not really. I don't think he's a bad race car driver. Like, I don't think this is he's Michael Schumacher's son.
He needs
so he made
more time, maybe in a better car. I mean, he is in, like, one of the worst cars on the grid.
Yeah.
But, like, so that's obviously tough. He was doing good in WEC, in, like, mediocre machinery, so...
I don't know. I just don't think, sadly... Because the Schumacher name is amazing for IndyCar.
But
Mick has been kind.
I don't think Reinbold keeps him.
No. They're coming in to win in Indy 500 and thinking that maybe a full-time seat might give them more of an advantage, and maybe they can win or compete at other ovals. Possibly other races.
It's a long-term investment. I mean, they're seeing the upward trajectory of the series as a whole, and they want to be a part of it, which I think is great. And
I love it.
And yeah, I mean, Conor Daly gives them a competitive shot on at least 6 races a season.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, why not go for it?
I love that. I'm sad that... or I'm excited to have Conor Daly back in the series. I've always been a Conor Daly supporter.
Yeah.
I have a JHR Conor Daly jersey, so...
Yeah.
And, you know, he's a local Indiana boy. It's hard not to root for him.
Yeah.
So, I think he deserves a full-time ride in IndyCar, for sure. And I'm excited that he's going to have that opportunity, probably.
I mean, I don't see any universe in where DRR joins full-time and they don't choose him.
Yeah.
So.
Now... I'm very sad that I've been a big proponent of the fact that I think Callum Ilott full-time deserves an IndyCar ride.
Yeah, he does.
For sure.
Yeah.
100% I think he could be extremely competitive in this series, and I think he's shown that. He, specifically in his last few times with Prema, he's very competitive on ovals and road and street courses. I think he's really starting to figure it out. And we saw him, we talked to him and met him at the Indianapolis 500.
Yeah.
Thanks for being so gracious. You're not listening, Callum.
No, he's not listening.
Callum, he was so kind to us.
Yeah.
He was happy to talk to us for a few minutes. Loved the project we had going on here with Across the Bricks. And he just had his seat, his helmet. He was just chilling, hanging out, doing IndyCar media stuff in exchange for a pit pass and parking pass.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like he's just trying. He's not racing full time anywhere else, right? He's doing some endurance racing, but like. He wants IndyCar, it's clear.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to get a seat next year now with the surprise add-ins of the likes of Conor Daly and the fact that Christian Lundgaard might end up being relegated all the way down to my prediction is JHR.
Right.
Because he doesn't have that top-level seat available to him.
I just don't know if there's a way back in right now.
No. My original prediction, you can see it on my silhouettes that I put in. I thought he was going to be in the 77 at JHR next year, but with the likes of Lundgaard moving down, I don't see that happening.
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like Stinger Robb might just keep his seat there.
I don't think he's going to.
Really?
If Stingray Robb keeps his seat, that means that we're in a position that's really weird.
But like with the situation with Hollinger buying out Juncos, right?
Yeah.
And it becoming Hollinger Racing, does the financial situation change there? Because that's one half
No.
I mean, maybe Hollinger just has more money in store that he just wasn't already spending on it, or
possible.
Is he using that Stingray Robb money? I don't know.
I don't know. To me,
and you got to fund your program for the new car. So I mean,
if one of Stingray or Romain Grosjean keep their seat, we get stuck in a really weird situation where I don't think there's room for 2 Indy Next drivers to move up.
Yeah,
which has not happened in a long time. I can't remember an exact date, but in my recent memory...
Does more than one really deserve to move up with how competitive this series is?
Temet Kaharchek definitely does.
Yeah.
He has been the most entertaining and surprising driver to me in this year's Indy Next grid. He's been competitive at all... Although he only has 1 race win, he's been competitive at all types of circuits.
Yeah.
I think he's been top 10 in every race. He races like a badass dude. He's not in the fastest car. He's fun. Essentially, from what I can tell, his family is just funding him through it. But he's fast as all living hell.
So, like, who do you remove from the series? Like, I mean, Stingray Robb, obviously.
And Romain Grosjean. I think
Grosjean.
the winner, and I think it's him and Enzo Fittipaldi definitely deserve to move up. and I think Nikita Johnson's a close third there. But we got to remember Nikita's only 18.
Right.
I think he's definitely got time.
I think Tomek is definitely the best option, but I don't know.
Tomek's weird because he only has one race win.
Because what happens if he doesn't win the championship? Because you want him to move up, but the champion automatically gets a seat.
I think him and Enzo both deserve to move up.
Yeah.
Honestly. And I think a Fittipaldi being in the series is great for IndyCar.
Yeah.
And Indy Next teams love to take Indy Next swings on Indy Next drivers.
Yeah.
We see it this year with Kyle
Especially
and Bennett.
Smaller teams, but...
And Louis went up and Nolan Siegel as well. Like it.
Right.
They're talented race car drivers.
Jacob Abel even first season.
Yeah. They're talented race car drivers coming up through the ranks, right? And teams like that. Mm-hmm. They're going to take the risk to have the next big thing, right? Because if you hit that lottery, you've got a good driver on a small team for a few years.
Right.
Right? This is kind of funny. Shout out Hal, by the way, our manager at Fox. He also, from what I know, listener. So Hal, if you're listening, hi.
Hi, Hal.
But we were having a conversation. He texted me. I can't remember if it was over text or DM or whatever. But, I do remember. He had some awesome of his trading cards. His friend at JHR signed them for him.
Oh, nice.
And hooked him up, which was awesome. But he was asking, I had mentioned that it was great he got VK's signature now because he might be moving up to a bigger seat. And he was talking about, like, he deserves it, but, like, he was asking me, how does JHR be competitive, right, when the best talent gets poached them all the time? And I was like, one of the biggest incentives for small teams is to sign the young talent coming up. Because if you hit that lottery, you've got a driver on your team.
It's a win-win situation for both, right? Because like the driver gets a place to show his talents, and then the team gets a driver that can bring them up. And it's a win-win situation every single time.
For sure, win-win situation. And I think that's why teams love to take jumps on it. We see that with AJ Foyt Racing all the time. They had Kyle Kirkwood back when he was there, and now David Malukas. I kind of count in that last year because he was coming off the injury and everything. He was still in his young part of his career, and now they have Kyle Collette in there. Right? I think it's going to be a little weird next year. I hope Felipe Nasr gets that seat. Mm-hmm. I'm interested to see how that whole paradox goes down, and I think that is going to determine whether Roman or Stingray Rob keep their seat. If Felipe gets that 4 car, that relegates, for now, Tomek and Enzo down to JHR and Dale Coyne. Mm-hmm. But if Felipe doesn't get that seat, I think that puts Enzo in the 4 car, especially if he wins Indy Next. And that allows for Tomek, I don't know if it's Dale Coyne, if it's JHR, I don't know who's keeping their seat at that
It's really hard to tell because we need these top seats to be filled first before we can look at the rest and say, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah,
right?
And I love that IndyCar is finally getting to a point where money is becoming way less of it with the driver, and it's more we want the best driver in the car. Mm-hmm. It hasn't been like that in a while.
Yeah.
There's still situations, Kevin Simpson being one of them.
That's the most obvious
Stingray
one.
Robb
But the fact that Nolan Siegel is losing his seat is telling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nolan Siegel losing his seat. The fact that when we're talking about names, we're just talking about the best drivers on the market, right?
Yeah.
Tomek Kaharchek doesn't have the most money in Indy Next. That's clear. I think his family's funding themselves to go through that series. But he's being looked at heavily for an IndyCar seat because he is the best talent coming out of Indy Next.
It's like kind of Kyle Kirkwood-like situation in a way.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kyle Kirkwood's a bit different because he actually won the Indy Next championship. And
Tomek still can.
He still can. He's just not currently in the lead. But, Kyle Kirkwood had to win to move up at the time, right? He did. Rocket wasn't his sponsor. It was AJ Foyt's. And then he moved up to Andretti, where it was Auto Nation, right? And then the pink car.
Yeah.
Kyle Kirkwood's never
I
had
missed
his
the pink car. I really missed the pink
car.
car.
Kyle Kirkwood's talked about many times how he had to win each rung of the ladder or else he wasn't getting to race the next year.
Right.
He didn't have the money for
right.
it. And that obviously paid off for him, and we know how talented he is.
Yeah.
He's one of the best drivers in the IndyCar series right now.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's becoming a part of IndyCar anymore. I think teams are starting to have enough money. Charters are giving them that ability a little bit because it's made those positions and those cars and those numbers much more valuable. Just the fact that they can hire the best driver to drive the best car. Mm-hmm. And I love that.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see it at Nashville this weekend.
Yes. Who's winning? Joseph Newgarden?
David Malukas.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I think this is the weekend.
I want to bet against Newgarden, but with how good he's been this year, it's hard not to. I mean, I know Nashville's not the same as Phoenix and Gateway, but at the same time, he won there last year. And I know he got a bit lucky with Pato's tire blowing and a multitude of other factors, but I think...
It's hard to bet against Newgarden.
It's hard to bet against Newgarden.
It's real hard
really
to bet
hard.
against Newgarden.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just the old king, isn't he? Like, he's just... He wins.
Yeah.
And I think we've talked about this. I think he would have won the 500 this year if he doesn't make that silly mistake.
I don't think he wins it, but I think he has a chance.
He at least is close.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was really fast. And I mean, he's won how many ovals out of the last whatever?
He's won the last 3 non-Indy 500 ovals.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
But I think David Malukas is maybe the only driver in the series outside of Christian Rasmussen who has the ability to outrace him. Right?
Yeah.
I think those two, maybe Pato, but maybe not the car. That's
But Pato himself.
Pato himself
Yeah.
next year. Not this year when he has no teammates to help make his car faster. But David Malukas in the exact same equipment as Joseph Newgarden, I think, can outrace him on an oval. And that's what I have in my prediction. David Malukas, Joseph Newgarden, Christian Rasmussen.
I like that.
And I think this is the most Indy 500-like track we have on the schedule.
It is.
I think David Malukas had the best month at the Indianapolis. I said this during the month. I said it before the race, as early as practice too, and I said it after the race. And Hal put money on David Malukas because of me.
Like a guitar being David Malukas.
It was Wade. Wade put money on David Malukas because of me. And I'm sorry, Wade. I know you're definitely not listening to this, but you lost a little bit of money. He wasn't mad at me though because of how close David Malukas came. He had the best.
Well, I mean, he only lost by 6/1000.
Yeah, so he had the best month at the Indianapolis 500 I have seen since probably 2023. Joseph Newgarden.
Yeah.
I don't know. That car in traffic was unbelievable.
But anyway, I mean, like, just imagine.
But that translates to Nashville.
Yeah.
Right, it's close.
But a guitar being David Malukas' first winner's trophy in IndyCar just makes sense.
I have an idea.
That's true.
I have a very big idea, and I really need to make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
So let's clip this and make this a thing.
Okay.
We need to get in touch with an IndyCar driver, right?
Uh-huh.
And I want to sit next to them as a media member. Whoever wins Nashville, I think David Malukas would be a perfect guy for this. Have him plug in the guitar, and I'll plug in the guitar next to him, and I want to teach him how to play something on his trophy.
Nice.
Because I know there might be a few drivers, I don't know for sure any of them that know how to play guitar, but likelihood is, especially
maybe Will Power. I don't know.
Maybe. He's a drummer.
Yeah.
Specifically the picture of Joseph Newgarden last year holding his guitar trophy, he doesn't know how to play guitar. No. And I want to play it, but I want to teach him how to play something on his new guitar.
Yeah.
And I think we can make this happen. I think that'd be a fun video.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And I'd be willing to drive almost anywhere to do it. So, if you see this, make it happen. But I really hope David Malukas gets his first win this weekend. I think he's looking really hot. He could use it in the championship. I think if Alex Palou has a bad weekend and Malukas has a good one, or Kirkwood, this might be on a little bit. Palou is having a bad stint of races. Now, he finished 5th at Road America, but he's allowing the guys who are just behind him to finish ahead of him. And it's the first time we've seen anything like this in 4 years now. Yeah. So let the IndyCar fan inside me hope. But I'm quite excited for Sunday.
World Cup final. I mean, it's not the teams I wanted in the World Cup final, but...
Yeah, this is definitely probably the most boring World Cup final in terms of play styles. As coming from a diehard soccer fan, I think England France would have been.
That's what I wanted. That would have been
bomb
awesome.
of a game.
That would have been
It's just two attacking teams.
I know, and we're still going to get that on Saturday for 3rd place. But,
Spain just plays boring. Spain's not afraid to make it boring. They have only conceded 1 goal.
They're the most Italian team in Europe or in the world.
A little bit. They've only conceded 1 goal the entire year. Lamine Yamal has not had a great tournament, so their national or their global superstar is not.
He's only scored 1 or 2 goals the entire time.
It's been a little bit of a downturn for Lamine. He's 19.
Yeah,
18.
but Messi's on this game, and
I'm not going to throw anything
fantastic.
at Yamal. But France doesn't, or I'm sorry, Spain doesn't have the star power right now, right? But it doesn't matter. They're playing like a cohesive unit.
They have Rodri and
they've got a great midfield with Pedri and Fabian Ruiz.
Right.
The team is looking good. Don't get me wrong. I'm actually picking Spain to win this game.
Yeah.
But it's hard to pick against Messi. If we're betting, I mean, now we've never seen, and we might have in the early 1930s, 1940s, but since the World Cup became a legit tournament where the best teams in the world competed, we've never seen a repeat winner. And that is because the cyclical cycle over 4 years is so big. There's so much turnover in players that it's really hard to be good 8 years in a row.
Yeah.
Like, it's difficult.
Yeah.
I guess you only need 4 years. You need the first and the last. But, you know what I mean? Like, the two cycles are full 4-year cycles.
Right.
And it's a full lead-up. It's development to the World Cup. It's hard to be good for that entire time.
Mm.
And Argentina's done it. They shouldn't be in this tournament. They've almost lost every single game.
Oh, yeah. It's been close.
And versus team, they had the easiest path to the final and out of all three of these.
It's just
teams.
crazy. I mean, that team is so young outside of Messi. Like, that team is so young. I mean, like, they already have, like, their stars. Like, Di Maria retired after their World Cup 4 years ago. And, but, like, now it's,
I think that Argentina will make it competitive.
Yeah.
They're going to make it dramatic. That's for
Yeah.
sure. There's going to be late goals, probably. And if they are, they're going to come from Argentina.
Yeah. Hey, Spain might get a double, though, if Pelot wins, which is not out of the question. So, yeah.
Oh, no. But I'm excited because I'm going to plant my butt on the couch that's right out of frame right there.
Nice, yeah.
And I am not going to move for probably 8 hours.
Yeah.
And now I'm really interested and scared that if the World Cup final goes to extra time, what happens to the IndyCar race? They can't delay it. Too many partner... Right now, they'll probably start on FS1.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how what I'm probably gonna do in that situation is watch the World Cup and then start the IndyCar race from the beginning and just watch it a little bit late.
I'll have it.
I'll be able to skip commercials, so I'll catch up by the end of the race.
Nah, I'm dual screening.
Yeah,
I cannot watch a race delayed. I don't know what it is. It's just like I feel like I have to be in the moment watching it live.
I agree, but I have to sometimes.
Yeah.
There's situations where I have to.
Yeah.
And if I don't see anything that happens, I typically can. Because for me, it feels like it's happening live. If I've avoided the rest of the world.
Yeah.
But no, I'm scared a little bit because this is a huge moment for IndyCar. There is potential that this race is going to get more views than the Indianapolis 500. That is what a World Cup final lead-in can do.
It'll get more views at the beginning, potentially if some people just leave their TVs on or are interested in IndyCar. But by the end of it, it will not have more views than Indy 500. There's no way. I just don't see it.
I wouldn't be surprised. The numbers, dude. Like, and it's part that, like,
I mean, the World Cup final, it's going to get, what, 40, 50 million viewers in the U.S.?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
And then how many of them will turn off when the race turns on? I don't know. Especially if the race is not starting from the beginning, because, like, if the race is, like, 50 laps in, then it's like, well, I'm not really invested in this because it already started, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
I feel like they're not going to start the race until after the World Cup final, I don't think.
I don't think they can wait. That's not how that works.
I don't know.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
I hope if it goes into penalty kicks that they delay it, because that's great for IndyCar,
Yeah.
but...
Or they can move the World Cup final to FS1.
No. They would never do
that.
I know. And they shouldn't.
No.
No, that'd be funny, though.
I need my IndyCar. Come on.
Yeah. But no, I'm excited for Sunday. Part of me, as a soccer fan, wants it to go to penalty kicks because that's dramatic and that's or end in extra time. But at the same time, for this TV schedule and as a Fox Sports semi-employee, I just want everything to go smoothly. No extra time. Someone wins in regular time off a dramatic last-minute goal.
Yep.
And then IndyCar gets its viewership. But that is the main reason IndyCar's viewership has been up recently is World Cup lead-ins. They do great. I mean, Mid-Ohio had, 1.6 million viewers?
Yeah, Mid-Ohio, I think, led into a game, and then Road America had a game leading into it.
Backwards.
That sounds right. Backwards, really?
Backwards.
Oh, okay.
I remember Road America's race. No, wait, you're right. Mid-Ohio started at 12:30. You're right. Which was great. And Mid-Ohio had like I said, it was the best
1.3 million viewers.
It was the best yellow-free race I've ever seen. Yeah. So, I mean, they had some good entertainment.
That was a great Mid-Ohio. That was probably the best Mid-Ohio race we've seen in a while.
And I'm hoping we turn, some Americans / the Europeans that are in America that will be watching this, and IndyCar fans.
I'm also really interested. What's DC going to be like? I'm curious. Like, how many viewers is that going to get? So, like, that's like the main big event this season. After Nashville.
I don't even have a prediction.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I don't even know. I mean, we haven't even seen what the track looks like, but Lucas,
so
Polo,
scared for that
Roger
event.
Penske, and Rosenquist were at the White House. And
we should talk about that briefly.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah,
having a pit stop in front of the White House.
Yeah.
And 3 large, and I love that they sent David Malukas. They sent the recent champion, the recent Indy 500 champion, and the young American driver.
Originally, Joseph Newgarden was supposed to go, but Malukas subbed in last minute. I don't know what happened there, but
I honestly, I think Malukas is a preferable American to have.
But Newgarden's he looks like Captain America.
Newgarden's the American.
Yeah.
But Malukas is going to give you better quotes in journalism.
Yeah.
And stuff.
I don't think they even got to talk, though. They were just standing there.
Oh, yeah. And Bob Pockrass and Marshall.
Well, yeah, but no, but they didn't. Yeah, but that's different than talking to the national press. Yeah.
And it was awesome. I'm scared. I'm so scared about how this event's going to go.
Yeah, I hope it's not too political. But I mean, considering it's Trump's show, it's probably going to be.
If it's done right, if it is done in a way that is just to celebrate America, and it doesn't matter who's in office, Democrat, Republican, what his name is, it doesn't matter. If it's done like that, this will be one of the greatest motorsports events in American history.
But if it's the Trump 250, it's going to be very controversial.
Very controversial.
Rightfully so.
Not good for IndyCar. It will...
But honestly, not good for the country in general.
And I know there's been rumors that this could be a multi-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
But in my eyes, that's not how this...
Considering it's called the Freedom 250, I am hesitant to agree.
They're not going to move it to a Freedom 251.
Yeah.
And that's just not how this administration that sort of has run this does things.
Yeah, I know.
And that's also not good for IndyCar.
Yeah.
So I'm scared. It could be really cool, and it could be amazing for IndyCar, but I'm scared.
Yeah.
And as someone who adores the sport,
I really hope it works out. But I mean, it's just so we don't even, there's so much we don't know. I mean, we'll have to reevaluate obviously when the race week comes up, and
I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited
to
be a part of that.
I mean, the one thing that I think is really cool is that 250,000 people apply to get tickets.
That is amazing.
That's really good.
I don't know how they're going to fit all those people there.
Well, they're not. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Only some are going to get them. And
that's amazing. Yeah. And I love that it's free.
Yeah, it is cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool things about it. It's just got to be done right.
Yeah.
And it's not like, if it's not done right, the viewership will go down. It has to be done right.
Yeah.
It has to be done in a way that promotes, as IndyCar, viewing it from the IndyCar lens, it's got to be done right.
Yeah.
And if it's not, if thousands of different things go wrong, we're screwed.
We have to. It's a huge opportunity to get a ton of eyeballs on the sport, but we want to make sure it's done right. You know, we don't want eyes on the sport for the wrong reasons.
We have to make sure we accurately depict the sport.
Yeah.
We have to make sure we accurately depict what the sport is about.
None of these
what the sport
AI
represents.
videos with Formula One cars saying it's LARPing is IndyCar. You know, you can't do that.
Yeah,
No
exactly.
Way.
So, I'm excited for the rest of the season. I'm excited for Nashville this weekend. I'm excited for Sunday. One of the greatest sports days ever. Shout out to IndyCar for moving.
Shout out Fox
for moving Nashville. Shout out Fox. Yeah. So many people shout out. But yes. Thanks for the water bottles, guys. I use it all the time.
Yeah, me too.
I don't have mine right now. I have my Gloria Sowala, but it's in my room. So
yeah.
I mean, I'm excited. There's not much else to talk about.
Yeah.
Rinus VeeKay to the 9. Christian Lundgaard to the 77.
Give me that.
Give him that. Yeah.
Shout out fan club and
shout out fan club, and we'll see y'all later.